listening to GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
GUFON Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
GUFON Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to GUFON, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. We are live on Sunday, November 20th, 2022. And how are you? Great. Great. What am I wearing? Am I wearing a garbage bag? Look at this thing. It looks like I'm wearing a garbage bag. I just realized that. It doesn't feel like it. It feels good. Ooh. You're right. I just noticed something. Hold on. I got to change something really quick. This is important. Coral sees. She knows. Coral can see what's going on. I had to change it because you can't have conflicting logos on at the sea. You can't have a Nike logo with an Adidas shirt. You just can't do it. Sacrilege. I try not to do that. Thank God I had another hat around. Tonight we're going to talk about a few things. One of the haters that are out there, which we don't talk about, but when something like this happens, I have to address it because it's bullshit. Somebody apologized. A hater is trying to apologize for all those hateful things they said about me and Third Phase and Alien Girl and so on. We'll talk about who that person is. And we'll take a peek at their video. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but I can play it and tell you what she said because what he said, because I am not taking that chance that the little hater will have a change of heart. You can't play my video, beep. You know? Yeah, so we'll announce who that is. Some of you already know because I put it in the chat room earlier. But the reason I wish I want to play it, because his body language is so bad. He doesn't mean a word of what he's saying. It's only to make himself look better. It's all about, I want to look like I'm going above and beyond, yet and then I want to talk about, hey, where's the paradigm shift? I thought there was going to be a paradigm shift. Everybody, including your favorite UFO Jesus, is talking about, like, there's a paradigm shift coming. That's all you would hear these people say on the woke ufology that is Twitter and YouTube, unfortunately, except for you guys. But that's the fact of ufology. They're bringing their ideologies and their way of thinking into the field. It's already a control issue with this field. God forbid you say something that's a little bit different than what they believe, because they will try to cancel you. They've been trying forever. And just because we think, and we have been right. And how could you not want to be a part of the team that's getting it right? Why would you want to live on that side where fantasy is not reality and disclosure is not coming? Lou Elizondo is not the savior for ufology. He is the exact opposite. And I think we all know that when he made that comment and said, I'm going to blow this up. What did he say? I'm going to blow it into a million pieces and rebuild it the way I want to do it. Like, this guy's never been in ufology, never cared about UFOs. Now, all of a sudden, he's going to want to rebuild it, and he's going to put scientists and smart thinking people in ufology. Yeah? And they're going to work for the government and never give us shh. Roll call, everybody. Zach Diecast Monsu. Welcome to the show. First one on the list. Diane Boss. Aw. Well, that's very nice. Welcome to the show, by the way. Hey, that UFO chick got the message. She got the memo. Welcome to the show. Good to see you back. Sputnik 57. Lou. Yeah, I know. 57. 57. Wait, what was that song? Oh, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. 57. That's Heinz. Welcome to the show, Sputnik. Rebecca Wiles. Hey, how you doing, eh? Welcome to the show. Tim Freestone. Mr. Freestone. Wait, hold on. Now I know what your name... Your name reminds me of the Guns N' Roses song. Is it Grindstone? Mr. Greenstreet? No, that's Stephen Greenstreet from... what is that Guns N' Roses song? I think it was on Use Your Illusion 2. I can't remember, but that's you. Welcome to the show, Mr. Freestone. Shelly Morrison. Shemelly, Shamil, Schlemazel. Hassan Pfeffer Incorporated. Welcome to the show. Hey, Eddie Mendoza. Where you been hiding? Huh? Where you been? Good to see you back. Welcome to the show. D's House Genetics. Remember when I first said your name, I couldn't figure it out? I still think I'm saying it wrong. Welcome to the show. Who's here? Wizard's here. Ma! Wizard balls, quick! Hold on, sir. Welcome to the show. Samantha Morris, the kitty cat. Oh, I got the small banners on today. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. There's that hat. Welcome to the show. Moonlick. Welcome to the show there, Chief. Lots of artwork I saw in the last day or two. Lots of new stuff up on Twitter. I love your stuff. That sounded a little strange, but we all know it. It's all love. Brooke is, what are you saying? How do you be, Chief? Welcome to the show. Brian. Welcome to the show. Seeing if you were there. Carlin! Welcome to the show. That came out strange. Ozzy Tiger. Welcome to the show. Samo! What up? How you be? Welcome to the show. FAP. Welcome to the show, Chief. Did the Rams lose today? Not yet. I haven't watched hardly any football today. Yeah. Don't know. I watched one game, Indianapolis game. That was good. Yeah, I watched a couple of games at the same time. Jay Ramirez, welcome to the show. Denbub, I think I said it already. If not, I'll say it again. Welcome to the show. There we go. Now we can start. Sapphire Elf is here. Welcome to the show. See, we always wait for you. And that's okay. I do roll call. I know when you're coming here. It's about freaking time. I'm just kidding. Calm down. Calm down. Stavro is here. What's up? Good to see you, mate. And, oh my God, Don Mofo's here. Where you been? Dre and Glow, you too. My Sunday, the Sunday crew. I think we get a lot of Sunday. Hey, Stan the Man, another Sunday man. Sunday guy. Ms. DJ, so nice. They named her DJ. What's up? How you doing, DJ? Welcome to the show. Alfie Joe Bob. What's up, Alfie Joe Bob? Welcome to the show. Ow. Something happened. Hey, easy _E_021 with a $5 super chat. Hey. We call him Sizzle Chest there, Bottlenose. I was trying to think of Bottlenose because in one of the phone calls, he goes, what are you doing, Sizzle Chest? He goes, wake up there, Bottlenose. Good to see you. That is the first super chat of the night. That's right. We survive off you guys. You know, GUFON is every day when healthy. Should be healthy for the rest of the year. But first super chat of the night. You can help support us with super chat, super sticker, PayPal, Cash App. All the links are in the show description and at the About section of GUFON. Hit it! Thank you, easy_E_021 for the Sizzle Chest super chat of good dollars. Mucho gusto, generoso. Let's get started, can we? All right. Thank you for going through the intros. If I cut that out, it just doesn't feel right. I know nobody's complaining about the intro. The whole, I think we all get it. It's part of the show because it's live. If it wasn't a live show, it would just start with a 15-second intro and then we're going. But if you're a member and you know how I start the member videos, right? Just boom. I'd like to do that for the live show. Cut it. It's right now it's 3.5 minutes long. But I don't have the 30-second countdown. Right? I don't do that anymore. I took that out. Yeah, so I saved you 30 seconds. Let's get your palates a little wet. Shall we? Glad you can make it here on a Sunday evening. Raining here in Florida. 50 degrees is the temperature all day today. It is chilly. There's a little bit of humidity in the air because it is raining as we speak. Winds are blowing in from the east. Believe it or not. What's that? That's the south. From the south. at 7 to 10 miles an hour with the wind chill at 48 degrees. It feels like 47. Back at you, Rich. Thanks, Rich Weather Guy. You know, today in ufology, not a lot of stuff is happening. You can admit that, right? It's slowed down quite a bit since they got that office. Once they got the office, the mainstream media play ended. And then we were supposed to get the second half of this report, which still hasn't come out. And at this point, I don't care. I stopped caring after week number 2, right? It was supposed to come out October 31st. We're now 20 days later, and nobody knows what the delay is. I think there were some additions and some changes that were being made, and I say, why? What are you changing? What are you doing? And I find that to be a big piece of bullshit excusing. That made sense on another universe, what I just said. That is such horseshit on every level. It's not even funny. In ufology, we used to get nothing. Nothing. I lived in Arizona, so we had UFO sightings, and there would be some reports on the news, you know, like once a month there would be something. But we have gotten used to seeing mainstream media and talk about the UFOs and the threat, and we've got to get this office. What are we going to do about it? There's a threat, and the threat, and we don't know what the threat. And Lou was on Fox, and Lou was on GQ, and Lou was on 60 Minutes, and right? And Lou had the TV show, and DeLong and all those guys followed along for all those 3 years that they were doing all that stuff. And where has it gotten us? Well, what have we gotten out of all of this? The public got nothing. All right. So we know that. We had our time. We had fun watching Lou do all his stuff. For the last 5 years, you or I have not been able to get on. I don't even know if we've ever been on mainstream media talking about abductions, talking about UFOs that we're seeing and other people are seeing. Now, yeah, granted, most of them are dots. But if you go by what the government showed us in that congressional hearing a few months back, hey, they got the same dots. Ours are better. And they don't want to see what we have to see unless it's an alien body or real physical evidence. Mainstream media won't talk to you or I. They will only talk to the military, the government, the people that lie, which makes no sense. But it does. It makes sense perfectly because you're talking about UFOs, things that our government doesn't even understand. So if they don't understand it and we don't understand it, who's going to explain it to us? And I think Lou was actually saying that when he was going on these shows. Hey, we don't understand where it comes from. We don't understand what it is. We don't even have the equipment to monitor it, to understand it. So it's a threat. And I understood that part of the threat. That, of course. It's not bullshit. But where do we go now? Now, Ben is throwing out some love. So I'm going to address that right now. Ben, the Yorkshire Gufonian, with the 2-pound, 2-quid super dono. It's a beautiful thing. A dono. There's no sticker. There's no comment. It's just from the heart. Ben, the Yorkshire Gufonian, mucho gusto generoso. Grazie. Grazie. A continuing supporter of the show. Thank you. I got Lisa. Hey, Lisa B, what are you doing here, huh? How you been? Where you been? I see you around. Thank you very much. $3. A $3 super sticker? Are you kidding me? Throwing down money like this? What? Wait, hold. What is going on with my? Oh, I see what happened. Ah, you gave me the. Oh, snap, Lemonhead chick. Damn, girl. Damn, shawty. Thank you very much, Lisa. Lisa Bowden. I know it's Bowden. Thank you very much. Mucho gusto generoso. I saw Jennifer Siami donating on Alien Addicts show. She got mad at me because she said I didn't post one of her super chats. But I did. But she says I didn't. All I did was rewind and I watched myself mention it. So she emailed me and got all mad at me. Went over to Alien Addict Show, donated. He didn't post it. She's getting mad saying, why aren't you posting my super chats? Why aren't you posting them? He's doing an interview. He's got 2 people on the show. And she's worried that, look, not every show does what GUFON does with super chats. See what I started? Not everybody posts them up and gives the big thank you. And I guess she got used to getting that from me. And then when she thought I missed it, started bitching at him. And then blames us for being angry. Why are you emailing me that I didn't post it when I did? Look, I post them all. If I forget, I'm sorry. It's not on purpose, but I just had to throw that out there because she doesn't come around anymore. And Coral here helps me out. But when Coral wasn't here and, I was doing the super chat thing by myself, if I forgot, it wasn't on purpose. I'm just throwing it down. That's probably why some of you asked, where's Jennifer? I'm like, hey, you should ask her. It's all because I didn't post her $2 super chat up on the screen in a timely fashion, I found out. I didn't do it fast enough. That when it all came down to it. You guys know I appreciate the love more than anybody, I think. But that's just odd. Hey, who's this guy? Nathan Allen, Nathan Nitsky, Nathan's Hot Dogs, throwing down a $3.33. Again, supporting GUFON through PayPal. Mucho gusto, Nathan. Grazie. Nathan, probably working. I didn't. Are you at work? I don't know. I know. All she wanted was the recognition. But when you donate, I understand you like to have it posted up on a thing, but just understand, sometimes it may not make it to the screen. Not here, but on other people's shows. They may not post them or even recognize them. I see it a lot on other shows, and I'm like, wow, man. But I understand it. Let's say we're doing an interview here, and somebody's talking, and they're talking, and you donated, and I didn't post it because they were talking. You would understand that, right? Man, maybe he's not posting it yet because the person's talking. Why are we talking about this? Did I bring it up? I brought it up. Anyway, we do things the way I do things the way I do them. They do things the way they do them. Nobody does them the same. And I think we should all adjust accordingly. Anyway, God dang, man. This UFO report. Now, tomorrow on Third Phase of Moon, Tim Burchett, the congressman, is going to be doing a live interview with them. And they're going to touch on that UFO report. I think he says it is still coming out. Apparently, the report's coming out at the end of the month, so after Thanksgiving. See, I think they got lazy, didn't do shit about the UFO report. And then the midterm elections came up. Nobody cared. And now Thanksgiving's coming up, and, they take vacations. They're doing other things. They're not, maybe they don't have the same seat they had I don't know. However that works. I know they have 2 years left and then they're gone. Nancy Pelosi's gone. Thank God. Oh my God. It's just such a relief. She is. Nancy Pelosi really is the crypt keeper. The original. Not kidding. So we got some people here. All right, this is going to be interesting. So there was an apology that was made. And I'm looking at the video and I see the guy and it makes me angry. Makes me very angry to see his face. Haven't even thought about him. Haven't mentioned him. Don't even care. But it was wreaking havoc was the guy. John Carty. This guy. He's the one a couple of years ago who came on my show, very first time he's ever done it. And I showcased his orbs. They were interesting orbs, I have to admit, for as far as, dust goes. They were interesting. And I told him to try something. I told him to, if he could put plastic up and let the dust settle and cover up all the vents, windows, and doors, let's see if there's any orb action, and we'll be able to know if it's orbs or dust. And he said he's allergic to dust, and that there's no dust in the apartment. There's dust everywhere. You can't get rid of dust. It's everywhere. But he said it's dust free. But anyway, he put up the plastic. Believe it, of all things, somebody in this field took the initiative and put plastic up to do the experiment, and it kind of worked. And he came on a few times and showcased his things. And, many months go by, 7, 8, 9 months. And, maybe more than an acquaintance, not really talking all the time, but had good relationship. And one day we were on Alien Addict show, and he came on and they were talking about how credible orbs were and everything. And I was saying, well, most of the time they're just dust and it's not rare, but you need to be someplace that is haunted and compare the difference between your dust and that dust over there. And you'll be able to tell the da. And then John asks me as I'm leaving, and I said goodbye already. He goes, "Hey, Rich, one last question." I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "So do you think I have enough, you think my stuff is good enough evidence as proof that there's spirit orbs," or something like that? I'm paraphrasing. And I said, no, you don't have enough proof. Although you have something, it's not proving whether it's a spirit or a dust bunny. And he just lost it. He just lost his mind. I left, and then he had his little tirade after I said, "But I got to go." So, I went like that. "I'll see you later." And then he continued the conversation. And after that, I was his number one enemy. He hated everything about me and making videos about me, and another one calling me a racist Nazi and all this other stuff. And then he makes an apology video. And at the end of the video, he says, "Oh, I doubt that we'll ever be friends, or maybe we will, I don't know. But I just wanted to say that I apologize for my inclusion." He never apologized. Like, he says, "I'm sorry I was included." Something like that. It wasn't really heartfelt. It really wasn't. And I can what do you call it? I can do, what do you call it? Free, what is it? Play it, free base it. Is that what it's called?
Quick. Recently, there's been a lot of, I would say, drama.
Drama with the smile right after. You see? Start right there. Body language. He loves it. He doesn't hate it. He loved the drama. He loves it. See? He loves it. He said it, and then he smiled.
Recently, there's been a lot of, I would say, drama.
See? He loves it. Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
In ufology, a lot of people talking crap on each other.
Whoa. Did you see that? The nose itched. The big nose itch. That'll get you every time in this field. Every time the nose itch will get you. What does it mean? Oh, well, let's listen again.
Ufology.
He said ufology. Ufology's funny to him because he doesn't like it.
Say drama.
Watch.
In ufology.
Here it comes.
A lot of people talking crap on each other.
A lot of people talking crap on each other, and then, oh yeah. See, that irritated him. I'm sorry. I thought it was ufology. My bad. Same thing, though. It's worse.
Everyone's debunking everyone's evidence.
Everyone's debunking everyone's evidence. That's not true. That's a lie. There's only 2 people doing it.
Like, to anyone that I feel like might have did me wrong at some point.
Well, that's the apology.
Memes I've made, or DMs or tweets.
Hold on.
So I took down all my nasty memes I've made, or DMs or tweets, all that kind of stuff.
I took down all the nasty DMs, tweets, and all that stuff that I made. Took it down. Shows no guilt.
I'm pretty sure it's all off my social media as of now. So basically, I just want to say, like, to anyone that I feel like might have did me wrong at some point, all's forgiven.
No, it's not. What did he say anyway?
Just want to say, like, to anyone that I feel like might have did me wrong at some point.
To anyone that might have felt like they did me wrong at some point, all is forgiven. Oh, gee, thanks.
All's forgiven.
What did I do? I did nothing.
I'm really not concerned about that stuff anymore. And to the people that I've been talking shit on for a while, I'm sorry. My bad. I apologize.
With a grin. You can see the shit-eating grin on his face. You can just see it. Doesn't care. Anyway, he mentions me, an alien girl.
Especially to Alien Girl 111, Third Phase of Moon, and GUFON. My thing is...
What the hell? What is in the upper left-hand corner of my screen? Did you see that? Why is there an X around it? Oh, it's his. Oh, man. I thought he was putting it up on his screen, top left, top right. Oh, what a trip. So, watch. If I remove this, it's his thing. See, I thought it was a box around mine. I'm like, why is there a box on mine? Bernie Miro throwing down a $2 super dono. It's pure love, pure Pure adrenaline of love. Thank you very much, Bernie Muro. It says dono right there. Boom. Hey, alien girl, how you doing? Welcome to the show there. He sounds like an immature, illiterate, ignorant, and conceited jerk. Well, anyway, that's his apology. You heard it. He didn't really apologize. I mean, he says, I'm sorry for the things, whatever. But it's half-hearted. Doesn't it seem half-hearted? It doesn't seem like he gives a shit. I'm just being honest, not because I dislike the guy. It just sounds that way.
I'm sorry, my bad.
And look, it looks like he's smiling when he says it. See? I mean, he's literally lying to all of us, and he thinks he's not. I don't get it. He's going to say, that's bullshit. I apologize. That's twice. He apologized to me in an email once, and that was after I said, why didn't you apologize to me if you didn't mean it? Then he apologized. I'm like, it's too late. I don't accept it. And I don't accept this one. I can't.
I'm sorry, my bad. I apologize.
Just listen.
Especially to Alien Girl 111, Third Phase of Moon.
We'll just listen to it.
And GUFON. My thing is, there's no reason I should be worrying about what anybody else is doing. If I like it or not, it's really none of my business.
Now, he said, I shouldn't really worry about what anybody else is doing. It's none of my business. Isn't that funny? Isn't that what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks when I've been trying not to talk about them? He's a very small portion, a part that has been forgotten about. And the only reason I'm talking about it is because it's an apology video from a hater. And I thought it would be interesting to see how legitimate that apology was. And I ain't buying it.
I can't accomplish anything if I have negative feelings towards people or if I'm spending my time putting out negative energy.
Now, it sounds to me like he's been going to 12-step program, something like NA or AA, right? Doesn't it sound like he's been in meetings or talking to somebody? Because that's what they tell you to do. They tell you to apologize, to accept, the consequences of your actions, all sorts of shit. I've been to those NA meetings with my ex-wife, yeah, because she used to drink and take pills. But yeah, so I used to support her with that and sit in on those classes. And yeah, they're very helpful. It's, yeah, just to hear other people talk about their issues makes you reflect on your own. And yeah.
I just feel like the ufology's at a standstill. Everyone wants to discredit each other, and people get upset because they feel like maybe other people aren't using the platform as they would want them to. But
so people are mad because some people are using the platform in ways that they don't want them to, which I don't know what that means. I think it means that they don't like us using YouTube to talk. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Wow. I just got an interesting message from Google. I got to check this out real quick. Oh, shit. That can't be real. I'll do that after the show. Anyway, this is the guy. So, listen.
who am I to tell somebody what to do with their YouTube channel. So
It's funny, right?
that's pretty much it. And like I said, anybody has any issues with me or whatever, my bad.
Now watch the way he says it. You heard it, right? Now watch the way he says it.
Anybody has any issues with me or whatever, my bad.
In other words, if anybody has any issues with what I said, well, oh well. Oh well. Yeah. I'll just say it right now on the show so John can hear it if he ever decides to hear what I have to say. This is something you should have done behind the scenes. If you were really sincere about this, John, you would have emailed me, Alien Girl, and Third Phase of Moon behind the scenes and said, I'm really, really sorry. Now, putting your face out there on your channel is only going to reach 20 people. So it doesn't really mean much to the world when only 20 people are going to see it. I would have never seen it if it wasn't for somebody sending it to me because I don't pay attention to you. But should have emailed us. Hey, Dark Hour Paranormal, what are you doing here, huh? There he is, the man, the legend, the myth, the lead singer of Third Phase of Moon. That's it. Now, whether John sees me talk about this or whatever, I just find it very, very difficult to believe that he means what he's saying. But if he does mean what he's saying, then all the best to you, John. Nobody wants anything bad to happen to you or your orbs or anything else. Just do what you do, man. And I find it interesting that you didn't denounce any of the people that you hung out with in their chat rooms, and you didn't say anything about them, or I just find it interesting. So if you're going in other people's, in the haters chat rooms and talking about all of us and promoting what they're selling, you're just lying. So we'll see. We'll see where John Cardy goes from here on out. I'll post the link to his apology in the chat room when I'm done, like I do with every video I play in here from YouTube. So, hey, he put himself out there. He did the apology, whether it's sincere or not. That takes some guts. It takes some guts. I'd give him a little credit for doing that. But that's the same guy who was calling me a racist and a liar and a misogynist and everything else. So the friendship door was slammed shut when that happened. And I am no longer giving second or third chances to people who do that to me. So sorry, John. Best of luck to you and your endeavors. We don't care anymore. Anyway, that takes care of that. And as I've been saying for weeks, onward and upward we go. We do our thing here, they'll do their thing over there. Everything should be fine. It's like I don't ever care what anybody's doing on YouTube, unless it's something that is really ridiculous. We try to go after the people in mainstream media, the people that are getting all the attention that really suck in this field. That's who we talk about. Just a lot of people. It's the ones like Brandon Fugel types, and Travis Taylor, government guy. Yeah, he's government. Lou's government. They're all government. Can't trust them. I know. I know. I'm preaching. I am preaching to the choir at this point. I hear you. I hear you. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable. I didn't know that was, wow. All right, I'm going to play a video for you. It is a UFO video. This is from, what? A UFO hovering over Islamabad. Complete 13-minute HD video. It says this is the longest recorded UFO sighting by a civilian on record. No, it's not. No, it's not. I've recorded the fleet for 27 minutes. 27 from beginning to end. Yeah. Well, and then they just disappeared. They started just popping because they were balloons. Anyway, you want to see the this video? This is amazing. You're going to love it. Love it. Thank you for joining GUFON tonight. We're going over some UFO videos right at the moment, or should I say a video. And let's take a look at the longest HD video in human history of a UFO, which looks like a balloon. It's a drone. It's a balloon. It's a bird.
Yep, definitely moving.
All right, so far I'm thinking that's a drone. It's pretty high if it is a drone, if it's up in the, well, it's not in the clouds. All right, I'll be quiet. Shh. I'm not gonna watch the whole 13 minutes. Holy shit, I got the whole video here. All right, let's move forward a little. You mean to tell me it's just hanging out in the clouds?
I don't think that thing is moving.
It looks like it's spinning.
It's either the clouds or my hand.
Oh, that is interesting.
1 hour now. More than
so
1
far.
hour.
I think it's a balloon.
It's kind of unreal.
I think it's a balloon.
This thing. This is a bird. There's a bird. But this is not a bird.
Balloons do hang in the sky like that. And if this guy would stop moving. That's about 500 feet high. He never gets closer though.
It's definitely not a bird.
But if he stopped moving, I'd be able to tell if it was moving with the clouds or not. But he moves the camera too often to get a stable shot. But I'm gonna say that's a balloon. And yeah, it could be a drone. Drones can stay afloat for a very long time nowadays. Mine can stay afloat for 30 minutes.
I'm gonna make it really as long as I can.
You know, it's interesting because the shape hasn't changed. And if it was a balloon, it would have spun around. You see how it looks? It looks like a shoe almost. Hold on, gotta get rid of these things on my screen. No, that's a terrible still. See, that could be anything. You know? Oh, look at that. That's a good shot. See, that looks like a balloon. A balloon that is deflated a little bit. And it's reached the altitude to where... See, and if that was a balloon, it would be moving. No, I'm not sure that's a balloon after all this. It's interesting. I want to see if it's moving with the clouds.
Naked eye.
Yeah, the clouds look like they're moving from right to left.
It's very hard to see with the naked eye.
Which they are. And the object is not moving. That's actually stationary.
practically
Looks like
almost
it.
dark now.
Why don't people understand that they need to lean against something? Like put the camera next on a pole so it doesn't move. Or, you know, like something like that. Just lean it on something. I've seen balloons do this a million times. A million. All right, not a million. 2 million.
I think it does.
But I have. I'll show you. I will show you my goods, my friends. Show us your goods. It's a good one. It's not the best, but it's a good one. It's an interesting UFO.
Okay, and this is that other clip, and here we can zoom 9x. This is what iPhone's maximum zoom is. I don't think that thing is moving. It's either the clouds or my hand. That thing has been there for the past 1 hour now. More than 1 hour now. It's kind of unreal. Very, very good. This is definitely not a drone. I mean, I was flying a drone when it came in for a landing and I saw this thing. This is unbelievable. Drones, they can't really last this long. It's just sitting there.
All right. We got it now. Check this out. You won't be able to hear anything, but similar, but not really. See? You get these dots and you can see it moving along. Come on, Rich. It's just a balloon just hanging next to a chemtrail. And an airplane's going to come by and cross in front of it, I think. Still moving from right to left. Just another dot in the sky. But anyway, dime a dozen. But it's an interesting video the guy has. Because if it was a balloon that was losing air and it was halfway filled up, and it should be doing this, you know, like a leaf. Just ever so gently, but it's not. It's really not moving at all. This is a pretty interesting video. So, till further notice, kids, I don't know. What do you want from me? I only work here. There we go. It's a good video, though. It's not that bad. Not that bad. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot worse. All right. Let's get back to work. So, Dulce, or Dolce Gabbana. Is it Dolce Gabbana? How do you say it? Dulce? I want to play this video, though, this whistleblower, who I think is a big bullshit artist. This is off of UAMN TV. It says, Whistleblowers Revelations, Missing Time, E.T. Baby, Underwater USOs, Vatican Secrets, and Cryptids. This guy's done it all. He wears every hat possible. He's seen every single thing except for Bigfoot. But he has seen cryptids and underwater USOs and an ET baby. And he had Missing Time. And it's this guy. Remember this guy? I don't know. I've seen him before, though. And I didn't believe his story when I first heard it. But if you just listen to him, something's wrong about this guy. He has every feature of a liar. Every piece of body language that I could point out? I mean, this guy seems to be bullshitting. You be the judge.
The truth. We need to let Americans and others around the globe to know the truth. There are many problems that have come to the surface lately, but I want people to know that the individuals who serve in the military are patriots and they love their country. But on the flip side, they're being subjected not only to the enemy, but what I like to call the inner government, the inner problems that are facing our veterans, including myself, every day.
When you first contacted me, I was in Europe, and we started talking, and you told me that you felt now was the time to tell me how this works, and you said that people you knew who had disclosed this sort of information, that their lives were at risk.
Absolutely. The information that I'm going to share with your audience today is the truth, and yes, lives have been taken from us because individuals decided to come forward, like myself, to tell the story, to tell the American.
You know what it is about whistleblowers who show themselves on a TV channel or YouTube page or Facebook or wherever? They're usually bullshit. And the things that this guy, I mean, if you look at this guy's hat, he is not wearing the hat. He just put it on top of his head. That's not even, he just did this. This is what he did. He just put it on his head. That's not even secured. It doesn't go around his scalp. He just laid it on there. That means he doesn't have any pride, in my opinion, any pride in the uniform. And he doesn't even care to have the hat touch his head. Maybe that's a subconscious decision because he's a freaking bullshit artist, an actor, a liar, paid to do this with this guy. And we've seen that before. Richard Dolan with Jeremy Corbell. When they interviewed that guy, remember? That's the famous hoax that Richard Dolan was involved in. The guy held up a picture of the alien, and it was actually an alien doll you could buy at the store, and everybody's like, what is this guy? He says that's a legitimate picture. That's an alien you could buy at Kmart. This guy is that guy. He's just like that. And you'll see more. The more he talks, like right up here.
American public, what is really going on, okay?
See, people like this who are real whistleblowers, they would be killed for this shit. They would be sued. They would be thrown in jail. You can't go around talking about stuff like this without consequences. You just can't. There's a reason you signed that NDA. There's a reason you took an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America. But people seem to forget that when they get old. And this guy does not seem like he should be whistleblowing anytime soon. I mean, I'm not saying he's the epitome of health, but he's not in bed and he's not wearing a robe. He doesn't look sick. He just looks like some dude who was paid to tell this story. And that's what it sounds like, the way he tells it. Listen.
And you know, they call it accidents, but they end up dying for telling the truth.
When you were involved in these programs, you received something called a digital angel. Can you tell us about that?
Many individuals who
listen to this,
serve in the military, who have specific jobs, are given digital angel. And it really, in my understanding of it, is just a way to track.
First of all, if you're given a digital angel, you should know everything about what's inside of it. Oh, from what I remembered. I mean, what did he just say? He says the wording of this, it's like he's saying, from what I remember, this is how it works or something. Listen.
Called a digital angel. Can you tell us about that?
Many individuals who serve in the military, who have specific jobs, are given digital angel. And it really, in my understanding of it, is just a way to track you, the soldier, especially the SEALs. When
it's a tracker, from my understanding. That's somebody who's trying to make you believe a lie. That's not what somebody says who's telling the truth. We know it's a tracker. Stupid.
When they go on a mission, the easiest way to track them is via digital angel.
Dude!
And that's an implant that you have.
Right.
Where did they put it?
They put it right here in my arm, and it was there. It's active. They can turn it off and on.
When
they could turn it off or on. That right there proved to me that this is bullshit. Nobody says that. They turn it on or off. It's not off or on. He's trying to remember, so he said it wrong because he's remembering his lines. He's not remembering a story. This guy is a bullshitter. I don't think this guy saw anything. Yeah, he may have been in the military. He may have been a Navy guy, whatever you want to call it, but he didn't see shit. And I'm not going to sit here for 2.5 hours more and play this. But this guy is so bad at lying. I just don't believe a word he's saying. I don't believe it. Well, let's take a look at something else here I found interesting. Right at the, I believe it was here.
The polar shift, okay? If you all get a chance, look at Edgar Casey. Edgar Casey, in his prophecies, talks about this polar shift occurring on our planet.
A whistleblower really is going to talk about Edgar Casey now?
But I'll tell you this, what I do know for a fact is...
I do know for a fact. That's next thing that's coming out of his mouth is a lie.
What you don't see on mainstream media, you did a few months back, but now they've gotten away from it. As the polar alignment is shifting, and now it's ironically around 90 miles, south of where it should be in Siberia, these poles are shifting, okay? And we know that.
The ice is shifting. Are the poles really shifting, or is it just the ice that's shifting? Nobody ever brings that up. Oh, because it's pointing due north? Is that why? Even though it's 90 miles off the tracker now? I like this guy's face here. All right, let's go a little forward. 55-minute mark.
And I would have conversations with him, and he was connected to the Zuni and the Hopi. He was an elder. He would tell me about their knowledge and crashes and things that they knew about where there was hieroglyphics that were found on ships. And other people have told me that with ETs and the Greys, that they saw a hieroglyphic-like language. So I've heard that many, many times. So that's interesting you should say that.
And again, real quick, coming back, the debriefing was basically keep your mouth shut. Don't mention this. They did recover the vessel, and they covered it in the tarp. They hauled it away. Where did they take it to? I don't know. I don't care. I do know that there have been more than one alien craft recovered. Where are they?
Oh my God. See, the whistleblower here, he never says anything that's groundbreaking or new. That's why I played that. They repeat the same things over and over that we all have heard other people say over and over. We've got many crashed UFOs. Where are they hidden? No one knows. He can't give us any specifics on anything. The whole thing's bullshit. I'll put the link in the description after the show. I get a little upset watching this guy because he stays for 2 hours and 30 minutes talking to this guy. And I didn't watch it all. I skipped through it because every time I go somewhere, it'll play something you've already heard. Watch this. He'll say something that we've already heard other whistleblowers say.
How did he find, who told him what to do? And I asked that question of other scientists, and I've been told that the Germans had uncovered in Egypt, out of one of the pyramids, that they had recovered the knowledge that was used for bronze formula to escape our atmosphere.
So the Germans apparently stole the technology of the aliens, and Werner von Braun, according to the whistleblower, knew of this magical evidence, but yet we don't see any of it anywhere. Or do we? Do we see it in the black budget programs? Do we see it, flying around the sky, mistaking them for UFOs? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but I look at this guy and I see bullshit. That is not the face of honesty, not to me. This is a guy who's living in fantasy land. He reminds me of Bob McGuire. Is this Bob McGuire? This isn't Bob McGuire, is it? Oh, his name is Chris. Never mind. I know Bob looks a little different. Same demeanor, though, that it seems like Bob has when Bob tells his little stories, and I don't believe Bob's stories either. No, not at all. Not even close. The reason is because there's no proof. And I would love to just go out on the UFO circuit, say I've had all these experiences, take all my dreams that I've had, turn them into a real experience story, and I could be the next Anjali. I really could. I could tell you guys some stuff from dreams that I've had and who knows whatever else I experienced, and you'd be like, wow, that's the best story I've ever heard. And I know you've got stories like that out there. Some of you do too. Mr. Catfish 2100 throwing down $2. It's time to unite. Earth hangs in the balance. But Mr. Catfish 2100, people have been saying that since the 60s. Oh, I've been taken by the galaxy. They didn't say galaxy back then. This guy called it a galaxy. We went around the galaxy, and we saw Venus, and I met the Venusians, and we met the Mars, and they were called Martians. Shut off. You know what I mean? Nobody went to Venus on a boiling pot of water acid. Come on. You can tell from the 60s that it was all bullshit back then because they're saying the same bullshit now. Our Earth is becoming used as a pawn in the big alien agenda. There's an alien agenda. They're coming. They're going to take us. We're going to be enslaved, and we don't even know it. If this is being enslaved and I don't know it, thank God this has got to be. Thank you for the wonderful life you've provided in my slave existence. Thank you, Mr. 20 Fish 100 Catfish. Mister. I did it backwards. Mucho gusto, generoso. By the way, you sent me that video, I think, right? Yeah, that was you. The one I just played, the whistleblower. Thank you, Mr. Catfish. Yes, it's true. You can help support GUFON. All the links are in the show description. We are supported by you, the lovelies. The GUFOnians. All right. The whistleblowers, they never give us any new details. It's all the same shit. Over and over and over. The earth is in despair. The moon is going it's going to crash. And we're going to have our poles are going to shift. And there's going to be a big, and everybody upside down, the toilet bowl and the water. All right, I got to play this. This is, I'm not playing it. It just makes me so frustrated to watch whistleblowers. That's all. Whistleblowers. They neither whistle or blow. They suck. They should call them sucky blowy. Sucky blowies. Oh my God. So there's a person on Twitter who says Ohio woman sees something extraordinary in the sky. You're going to love this because it comes from Mr. MBB333, but I have to play this one. Now, the only reason I watched this because somebody put this in a tweet, and the person's name is Woods Elf. And Woods Elf is the most gullible person on the planet. But watch this and watch how Mr. MBB333 talks about this. You're going to die laughing. Don't die.
On 10:40 in the morning, once again from Cincinnati, Ohio, there is some narration. I'm going to play the original video first, and then I'm going to show you guys multiple enhancements of this same video.
Okay, let me show y'all this real quick. Let me zoom in. Okay, look. Look at that. That's a flying saucer. That's been sitting outside hovering in the same spot, didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't do anything for 2 hours straight. It's another one in the sky, but they completely hid that one. But look how that...
It's sitting in the sky, she says, for 2 hours straight. They hid the other one, she says. There was another one that looked like that, but they hid it. Yeah, it's called a cloud. And they disappear after a certain amount of time. Oh my God, I can't believe this.
Look, you can see that. That's not a cloud. What is that black thing in the sky? That's as black as them wires right there.
Oh my
Look at
God.
that. You can feel the energy.
Okay, the next segments that you're going to see are of the original video, but they're
so
enhanced.
stupid.
I did some work to try to pull forward any possible features, but she made
It's a
some excellent
cloud.
observations that the edge of what looks like a saucer in the sky that did not move for 2 hours does have similarities to these black power lines right here. At least that's telling us that this edge has density and it's dark, obviously. And she said you could feel the energy off of this thing. She said she felt energy in the air and that this thing was in the same location for 2 hours. So here we go. I did some enhancement work on this.
Can you believe he's enhancing a cloud?
Particular object that was in the sky above Cincinnati. Here's enhancement number 1. We're going to take a look at the possible dimensions of this object.
I can't tell you how, and he's taken a measurement on a cloud. Measurements on a cloud, guys. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is better than, look at this, guys.
Center.
I can't believe I'm watching somebody. This is like, what's that lady's name? Gina Colvin or something? Gina Covid. This is, first of all, she didn't say what he said she said. He switched that up.
Look at that. That's a flying saucer. That's been sitting outside hovering in the same spot, didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't do anything for 2 hours straight. It's another one.
And now she's just getting the camera out. Now, after 2 hours. I'll get it now. Why didn't you get the other one? That's how you know this is a bullshit story.
In the sky, but they completely hid that one. But look how that one look. You can see that. That's not a cloud. What is that black thing in the sky? That's as black as the wires right there. Look at that. You can feel the energy.
Okay, the next segments that you're going to see.
I just had to show that. To me, that's the most hysterical thing of the year. Pretty close. Other than that apology. Unbelievable. What stupid, stupid, stupid shit we listen to. God help me. Listen to this. I just can't. I hate these things. I hate this. The national security implications of scientific UAP. There's a panel here. They got Dr. Matthew Sedegas, Dr. Gary P. Nolan, the P is not for professor, Richard Hoffman, the big dick, and Dr. Joshua Pearson, PIE. Ready?
To add to that?
Yeah, I do. One of
Hold
the challenges I
on.
see with the whole
For us just to do analysis to determine through the scientific method.
So, Rich, do you have any comments to add to that?
Yeah, I do. One of the challenges I see with the whole collection process, and I've experienced this in other types of situations. For example, and I know that UAPX will be glad to tell you that they took a lot of hours of data. The question is, how do you discern that data down to the point where you're actually looking and focusing on the one object or whatever that object is? And trying to now to do something. And so there's always been a data collection problem in a sense that you may have hundreds of thousands of hours of video or data or something like that when it actually happened at one spot, you know, or in that specific time. And if you put that then in a larger context in terms of, let's say, an entire carrier group with all the data that they can get, how do you get all that data synthesized to be able to give you something that's meaningful, because it takes hours to analyze the data?
This guy's a doctor? And he doesn't understand how you can collect all the data to make it mean something? Wait, what did he just say?
And trying to now to do something. And so there's always been a data collection problem in a sense that you may have hundreds of thousands of hours of video or data or something like that when it actually happened at one spot, you know.
Dummy, they can, in the video, they could mark it or you'll know when it's coming up. So what he's saying is for them to go through all this data, there's hundreds of thousands of hours of video to go through. Right, I understand that. But there's also got to be a log that tells you where everything happened, right? Isn't there some sort of log that these people like write into? Like if there was a UFO and they were recording it while they were flying around and doing a mission or whatever, wouldn't that be noted somewhere? Even if they, let's say they saw a boat that wasn't supposed to be where it was, do they note that down too and make a note of it so they can go back and look at it? I don't know. I think everything is just recorded during their missions, and then if there was a UFO sighting that was reported, then you go back into the recording and you got to watch the whole recording all the way through so you don't miss it, because it only happened in a brief period of time. That's what he's saying. But that's the job that somebody has to do to get that information. Listen to what else he says.
or in that specific time. And if you put that then in a larger context in terms of, let's say, an entire carrier group with all the data that they can get, how do you get all that data synthesized to be able to give you something that's meaningful? Because it takes hours to analyze the data.
What do you mean? How do you get all that to where? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody say about gathering data. How do you get the data so it's meaningful? Just gather the UFO data, put it together. It's meaningful because it's there. It doesn't have to sing and dance for you. It's already singing and dancing. That's the video portion. That's what we want to see. We want to see the hovering craft. We want to see them zipping around. We want to see us firing at them, as Corbell says. Somewhere somebody wrote that shit down. On this day, Captain's Logs, 12-Kelvin 5. We ran across a meteor. By the way, the meteor cracked open and it turned out to be an Oumuamua-like object with aliens inside. Avi Loeb was right. 200 years ago, Avi Loeb was right. Oumuamua came back, and inside there were creatures.
Data. So unless you have something like maybe AI or machine learning or something to help you to do
All right, let's listen to the Professor Gary P. Nolan. And the P is not for professor.
the leaders and you help them to develop policies.
Dr. Nolan, any comments?
Well, obviously I'm more of an academic than most of the other people up here. You know, I look at it from the standpoint of what we do in the cancer research that we do, where we're getting enormous volumes of novel information that we need to sort out and put together. And so I wonder how...
He dyed his beard. He dyed his beard. That is an awful dye job. You can tell he dyed it. He's that vain. He had gray in his beard before. Now the gray's gone. You can tell that's paint.
How much a problem it is that the information...
Oh my God, that's awful.
...siloed and not shared with enough people who can bring in novel hypotheses. Because once you come up with what you think is the way, it starts to become...
Oh God, listen to this word salad that he's given us here. Let's go back 25 seconds and listen to this word salad. I won't interrupt.
The standpoint of what we do in the cancer research that we do, where we're getting enormous volumes of novel information that we need to sort out and put together. And so I wonder how much a problem it is that the information is getting siloed and not shared with enough people who can bring in novel hypotheses. Because once you come up with what you think is the way, it starts to become, it becomes the niche exploitation problem. Somebody has started and said, this is the way we do it, and then other ways are not considered. So how do you allow for advancement of the technologies that you're using to investigate the problem, and also the algorithms before things become set in stone? And
what? That is a really easy answer. Listen.
Somebody has started and said, this is the way we do it, and then other ways are not considered. So how do you allow for advancement of the technologies that you're using to investigate the problem, and also the algorithms before things become set in stone?
So what he's saying is a pretty good point. It kind of goes along in what he's saying about our history books. Like, a lot of people believe in certain things that happen, like Christopher Columbus discovered America. We know that's bullshit, right? They now found out that it was most likely the Vikings, right? Isn't that true? The Vikings? But they won't change it in the history books, right? And that's what he's saying. Before we get stuck in our ways, let's look at all the other options on how we can gather evidence and how we can put it together in a way that isn't going to be overlooked because it's been done this way before and it's been overlooked. So let's try other ways before we get settled in and agree that this is the best way to do this experiment. Let's try. And the reason you can't, Gary, because to try things a different way costs money. And a lot of people don't want to put that money out to start over on something new that's been untested. So they go with what's been or what is known at the time. Unfortunate, very unfortunate that's the way it is. It's usually about money, and people have timelines. They've got to get things done at a certain amount of time. They've got contracts with this company. There's only so much they can do. But if it's the government, they've got all the money in the world. They can do whatever they want. So it's a good point. But anyway, I'm going to move on. I don't know what I was going to pull out of that entire video, but it isn't working for me. All right, well, let's change the subject a little bit. Changing it up. Here's a good one. Why do some young children, this comes from Grant Cameron, and I wish I talked about this a little earlier. Why do some children remember past lives? Such memories will be right brain accessible. This is also why beings are reported dealing with young children. It says, children are predominantly right-brained until 3 years old, when blood flow typically shifts to the left hemisphere of the brain. Between the ages of 4 and 7, the left side takes over until about 10 years old, and then everything kind of balances out. What it says. It's true. I wonder, because I remember being really like shrunken down when I was 5 years old. I talked about this, being really small and standing next to beings I didn't see but felt them like they were there. You know, like if somebody walks up behind you and you don't turn around, but you sense it. That's what it was like. And that happened around 5. Now, the next big memory I had was around 12, 13, 14, around the puberty time. And if you know history, you know a lot of children, and I don't know if it's just women, but I think it's both men and women or young preteen, prepubescent. Is that how you say it? They're the ones that usually get possessed. Something about going through puberty sends out a signal, I think, to the aliens. If our bodies are what we think they are, vibrating at a certain vibration level, and some of us vibrate at a level that is paranormal. What if there is a paranormal vibration and you attract the paranormal? You're a beacon, you're a bright light in a dark world maybe, and your beacon is going to be very obvious to whatever it is that's looking for a way out or a way to hurt you or a way to have fun. And maybe when you hit puberty, you start vibrating. Your body is changing hormonally. It's a huge change. When it's the final push to adulthood. It is your transformation. And they say women have another one of those transitions around 50, right? What do they call that? When you get the women, they get flush. Something happens to their hormones when they get older. They stop having their visit from Aunt Flo and they go through this metamorphosis into old age. What do men go through? Well, men have it worse, believe it or not. I know, women, you think you have it worse because you go through those hot flashes and mood swings for a little bit. But men, we start declining after 18. We've already peaked. Our testosterone levels drop significantly after 40. And that's why we're so cranky when we get old. Next! No, not next. All right, next. Let's play this. I always like listening to Stephen Greenstreet. He says George Knapp, he's got the clip here, and people are being assholes about it. There's a clip here where George Knapp says ASAP was a nickname, ATIP was a nickname for ASAP, and people are saying George never said that. This is a lie. And then Stephen Greenstreet found the clip, played it, and people are saying stupid shit. It says, Greenstreet, you have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, what do you mean? The proof's right here.
That Tic Tac case was the first big investigation by OSAP. The world knows about it, not because of ATIP, but because of OSAP. You know, they collected the files, they created the video they got, they secured it and analyzed it. There's a report in the OSAP files that I have seen that is remarkable in terms of the detail they went into in an analysis of the Tic Tac incident and its capabilities. That was the very first thing that they really launched. And the reason the world knows about it is because of OSAP. Yes, Lou Elizondo interacted with the OSAP guys, but it was long before ATIP existed. The first time the ATIP name, that acronym, appeared, it was in Harry Reid's letter to the Pentagon in 2009. And they used that name and just made it up because they didn't want the rest of the Pentagon to know what the real name was. So they couldn't come after it. They got out anyway. But, you know, ATIP, after OSAP went away, Lou Elizondo, to his credit, resurrects it on a much smaller scale. He keeps some of the same people who had interacted with and worked with OSAP, different agencies, some of them of whom had been to Skinwalker Ranch, some of whom worked directly on the Tic Tac report. He kept them in the loop, and they informally had this confederacy of experts who would take a look at new cases of UFOs involving the military. That was their purview. They didn't look at any of these broader things that we're talking about. To my knowledge, I don't know that they produced a single report. Have you ever seen one? I have never seen an ATIP written report of any kind, and no one else has either.
That is amazing. That's true. There's never been a report by ATIP. Way to go. Jesus. Just a super loud ringing went through my ears. Man, that was freaking loud. Then it stopped. It was like super high pitched. Almost hurt. Scared the shit out of me. All right. Time for Marie's UFOs. You know Marie, the orb lady. Well, she says, I have no idea what these are, but I've caught a lot of them. Of course you have. Dust is everywhere. She says, I've noticed when a craft comes down quite low, they can seem like a shadow and change shape. Why? This isn't true. She's lying because she doesn't understand what she's seeing. This is so sad. Look at this. It is so blurry and out of focus. That could be anything. How is this? See what I mean? All right, I'm going to show you some interesting UFOs now. Let's go. Last night, Third Phase of Moon had a video posted. Now I'm going to show you the second video of this. It's pretty wild. I showed it on the show. Briefly, we talked about it. But let's talk about it after I show it real quick, because I want to hear what you guys think about this. Yeah, we talked about it, but let's watch real quick. Remember this? I showed it the other day.
Did you guys see that? Obviously, there's a lot of satellites in our sky, but one that reacts like this, I've never quite seen one. In comparison, again, the satellite to the right, but then this anomalous object comes in close proximity to it, pauses as the satellite swoops by, and then does a reverse angle in its direction.
All right, I'll just talk about it real quick. I don't know what it is. But watching this video, that little light that is supposedly a UFO just doesn't seem right to me. And there's one part in the video where it looks like the object, like I think this might be CGI. I think somebody put that in there. I could be wrong. Of course I could. But I'm going to use Occam's razor. See, that part right there doesn't sit well with me. This little jump it does. Watch. When it goes to regular speed, I want to show you. There's a place where it, right in the beginning, watch. See if I can pause it. Get away. Come on. Go. I went too far. Come on. Get to the next. Do it over. Here, right there. That little jump, for some reason, bothers me. There. It just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem like it moves with the camera. The camera shake. I don't know. Seems like it is not moving. Like if the camera got moved, they should both move to the right. It seems like they didn't move at the same. I don't know, when the camera moves. I don't know. It just seems off. And then I said, well, maybe it's because I've never seen a real UFO before on video. Maybe I don't know what it looks like. We have been looking at, we've been looking at birds, balloons, drones, a lot of mundane objects that were mistaken for UFOs all these years. Now, this might be a legitimate one, and because it's legit, I'm having a hard time understanding if I'm really seeing a real UFO, an unidentified flying object. It doesn't mean it's alien. But my question is, why would it do this with a satellite? I know these stars here. I forget what the next three, there's three that come up here that are very popular. But why would it do that? Why would that object, this object, choose this satellite at that time to do what it did when there's thousands of satellites in the sky? So that's what makes me think the odds of this being real are so obnoxiously high, like impossible. It would be like winning the $2 billion jackpot. That's your odds of this being a legitimate UFO. But then again, I could be wrong. Oh no, the green screen. But then again, I could be wrong. Of course. I know I could be wrong. Because nobody's right. Nobody knows everything. Nobody knows everything. Nobody knows anything. Sadly, that's just the way it is. Nobody knows. Sadly. But it's a funny sighting though. I want to go to the one more, and I want you to look at this with me. This is really weird. This one, there's only one name for it. Enjoy. Not there.
What? And it disappears. Whoa.
No, that wasn't the worst UFO sighting ever. This is weird, though.
Oh no, look at this. Look at this. Are you shitting me?
No.
What the?
If I was shitting you, I'd be in the hospital.
This is on land, man. What? Man. What?
Anybody? Doesn't make sense, right?
And it disappears. Whoa. Oh no, look at this. Look at this.
Pretty bizarre.
You shitting me? What the?
So the only thing this could be is real or fake, right? So somebody said something in the chat room that I thought might be real. What if this is a reflection? And we're not really seeing flames come out of that thing. But maybe it's a trick with the reflection with smoke and mirrors. Literally. I don't know. I don't know how they would fake that. It definitely looks like it's shooting down something out of it. And the weird thing about it is, whether this is real or fake, it looks pretty good. The shaking, it's amazing how well all the shaking matches up with the object. I mean, it definitely would be hard to fake that perfectly. And boy, oh boy, does that look like it's really there. That light may be there. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. If it's a fake, it's a good one. It's so good, it's hokey. You know, it's a hokey one. Never seen anything like it. All right, let's go to the first one and then we'll end it. Watch this. Hey, what'd I do?
前面嗰個咩嚟啊？熄燈熄燈。喂，等我哇！兩個燈啊！佢出兩個燈啊！佢出兩個燈啊！佢出兩個燈啊！我電話喺邊？我電話咧？我電話？哇！好犀利啊！佢出咗兩個燈，你睇下我嗰個好清楚啊！睇下我嗰個好清楚，出咗兩個燈，你睇下我嗰個。而家咧？
All right, we're watching the video once again. I'm going to have the original video to the left, and we're going to get a closer look on the right. Guys, I want to get your opinion. What is going on here? At first, I thought this could be some kind of helicopter just hovering there, but when you look at helicopters in the night sky, the anti-collision, the nav lights, they blink in and out. These lights remain consistent. So, and then the second reaction of the light.
Actually, it's
let's
these lights, but here in Hong Kong we have this family. You can hear children in the background from, I guess, their home patio, looking up on top of this mountain. And of course, you know, I want to think of other possibilities. Could it be a tower with these lights? But I don't think so. Could it be a helicopter? Could it be a police helicopter with a searchlight? Yes, that's a possibility. But what makes this different is about, I don't know, I think, where is it? Halfway in the video. The person zooms in on, actually it's about halfway, no? there we go. A little over halfway through the video. All of a sudden, this object with a white and red light, with already a beam shooting on the ground on this mountaintop, a secondary beam, a brighter beam, is shooting down the mountainscape. How many people have ever seen, and I'm not saying there's not, but I've never seen a helicopter with more than one searchlight on it. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying I've never seen one. And normally helicopters, they kind of will move around or circle. They try not to stay stationary too long if they can avoid it. That's what I've been told from a pilot years and years ago. But I'm really, this is interesting. What is this object? Why are there lights? I wish the camera was better, of course, but
yeah, that's interesting, but probably a helicopter. The weird thing is there are no flashing lights. I tried looking up just to help out and see if I could find any helicopters with two searchlights. I have seen many, many, many helicopters searching for criminals in Phoenix, Arizona over my life. And it's not that there's two searchlights. It's actually one. And I think what's happening is it's the actual first flashlight. It's just the reflection of the back end of it, I think. There's holes that are usually in the back, and maybe the lights are going through the heat holes, to let the heat out of the lamp. And that's what we're seeing, the second light coming out the back, because it's not like the front light. You can see it's much, much dimmer. And that's because that's just excessive lighting, I think. It's a reflection off something. I know it's not a second spotlight, though. I don't think it is for sure. But I think it's just the residual effect, if I'm using the right terminology, from the main helicopter spotlight. Or it's a UFO looking for its little friends. But that'll wrap it up for tonight here on GUFON on Sunday. Next Sunday, oh, wait a minute. Next Sunday. Yeah, next Sunday we're doing GUFON U. It's GUFON University. And I don't know what I'm going to do. But we had a whole week to think of it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. And before we leave, one final thought. For any of the haters out there who want to apologize to either me, GUFON, Third Phase of Moon, email us. You don't want to do it in a video like that. That just shows that shows nothing. If you really want to apologize, you know where to reach us. All of our contact information is below. Because even though there are one apology being made, and I've had a lot of apologies over the years. People that I fought with when I had the AZ UFO show, like this is, I used to argument. We're talking like on-show fights, just terrible shit. And then 10 years later, 8 years later, 5 years later, 14 years later, I see these people on the internet, or they find me and they're like, you were right all those years ago. I apologize for being a dick. You were right. You were right. Now, I'm never always right. Yeah, I'm not always right. I get that. But for the most part, we're right about what we see when they lie to us. That's all. That's all. We're just right about what they're doing, what the government is doing, what mainstream media is portraying in the public, from Lou Elizondo, from Travis Taylor, from Gary P. Nolan, the P isn't for professor, and Nick Pope, and all the other people you see out there. Just remember this. You've probably been in this field longer than most of them. But with that being said, thank you, moderators and super chatters. Appreciate the support as always. You can still support the show. All the links are in the show description. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on GUFON on YouTube. And I want to thank the newcomers and the veterans. We've had a little uptick in subscribership lately. Thank you very much. So I appreciate the support. And as always, what are we? What are we here? That's right. We are... Truthology for ufology. God. And that's it for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm going to go look at the rain, go work out, go eat, sleep, and be merry. Alien bless. I said alien bless. See? What did I say? Alien bless.
Warning. Control life. Warning. Warning. Failure. Control life. Warning.
Unidentified flying object